Hey everyone, Nodak Card Guy here. Just wanted to stop in and do a little update on some cards that I've picked up on Facebook Marketplace, eBay, and then I did have two PSA orders come back that I'm really excited to share. One of them is a really big project that I'm working on, and it's really cool. This guy right here, 90s Kid Card Taste, helping me out with my grading submissions. Actually, that Caitlin Clark right there that's in the video is a card that I had him submit for me. Beautiful card. I'll show it off to you shortly. If you haven't yet, go ahead and subscribe to the video. Leave comments if you like, if there's cards that you're looking for, or if you have any cards that are in the project that I'm working on, which I will show you shortly. I'm happy to make trades for them, buy them if the price is right. Always happy to interact with anybody else in the card collecting community. So before I sit here and ramble on all day, let's get right into it. Okay, before we get started here, I do want to throw in a little plug for Cardboard Gold. I absolutely love these sleeves. As soon as I get any cards that are PSA, whether they come from eBay or from PSA Direct or trades or card shows, I always make sure to throw them in one of these sleeves. Just gives them a nice clean look. They've got that PSA logo on the bottom of the pouch. These are great. Okay, so this is where we're going to start with this episode. So the reason I bought this card is because I took this picture of Joey Bart. This was during his first professional season. And if I'm not mistaken, that is in, gosh, that's a great question. I think it was in Mesa, where the Oakland Athletics Spring Training Complex is. Picked this up in a Facebook Marketplace purchase over the weekend in Minot, North Dakota. Picked up a couple rookies, Joe Theismann, Stevie Young, Don Mattingly pre-MLB, and a Joe Namath, I believe 5th year, 1972, so probably about 7th year. Had this thrown in, that'll likely get broken out of the slab and just, I'll throw it in a box. Kind of the same deal with this. Obviously, golden grading, doesn't mean much to me. Pete Rose card is nice. It has some flaws in it, but it'll be a good one for set building. And then this is the Caitlin Clark that was on the pause screen of 90s Kid Card Taste. Pulled this out of a blaster. I bought 3 WNBA blasters on Facebook Marketplace, if you remember. And this was out of the second pack. Super cool card. And then got this in a trade on Facebook. Sent it in raw, came back a 9. Still pretty happy with it. Better than an 8, better than a 7. Before I slide in these PSA boxes, I realized I should probably have a mat right here. A nice Nodak card kid, or a Nodak card guy. Mat. That would look pretty good right here instead of, just raw plywood. Anyway, sliding in these PSA boxes, I'm really excited to show you what I've been working on. Here we go. This one is the lighter of the 2 boxes. So there's only a couple slabs in here, but if you recognize this set, yes, we're looking at 1960 tops. And we are working on an autographed variation of the set. So everything's certified. There are 600 and some odd cards. I want to say 672, 682, something like that. So this is going to be one of those lifetime quests that I will be working on till the day I die. If you have any 1961 Topps cards, or excuse me, 1960. So this is what I'm working on. This is 1961. It just happens to be on top. If you have any 1960 Topps that are autographed, I'm not going to trade for anything that's not graded, just because I think that's a good opportunity for people to take advantage. But I will trade, I will buy if the price is right, your PSA slabbed 1960 Topps autographed cards. I don't want anything that says trading card on the top. That just doesn't do it for me, personal preference. Yeah, so we'll just throw this out here real quick. Love the Bobby Richardson signature. Putting a little inscription on there. I got a nice letter back from Bobby. I live in Fargo, North Dakota. Talked a little bit about Maris, and he shared some kind words. Just seems like a standout guy. So 1960 tops. You know, I did have a couple people write to Zach. You know, because this is a quest for me. You know, I'm not really looking to sell or trade any of these cards. If a card comes along that's not personalized, like this is a PSA 3 with a 10 auto, you know, if I come across a PSA 5, 6, anything higher than a 3, I'd be willing to trade this off, you know, and then add to sweeten the deal to get a better copy. But yeah, so we got Jim Marshall, Bob Skinner, and I haven't seen these yet, so seeing the grades for the first time is pretty exciting. We got the 3 with a 10 auto, a 2 and a 6 on Fred Kipp, 3 and a 10 for Taylor Phillips. I just love the way this set looks. You know, and I was not too concerned about the condition of the cards. A really cool thing for me was a lot of these cards I did through the mail, and they came back signed. And so that's the important part of getting them off to PSA, you know, to get that certification, authentication. So jumping into the second box here. This is a full stack here. I'm really excited to go through this. Okay, here we go. Got Michael Morgan. So far, he's got the top grade on card. So he's got the 5.9. Looking good there. And I love these two Zachs on there. Man, that looks good. 210 for Hank Bauer. That's a nice one. Miscut. Auto 9. Vern Law. So me and 90s kid card taste, we were having a conversation about this card. Vern Law, 1960 tops. You know, he was a Cy Young winner, a World Series champ, 2-time All-Star. You know, during that time frame, you know, Cy Young was no small feat. It never is. But it is so cool that, you know, with the pitchers that were around at that time, that this is a guy who beat those guys out and won a Cy Young. Like, that's really cool. Roy Fossey. Looks good. Lou Klimchak on the rookie. 310. Jay Hook. George Altman. 210. Chuck Cartier. And if you know much about Chuck Cartier, or if you don't know much about Chuck, take a look at some of the pictures that he's taken on cards. I try to hold on to him because sometimes he just makes some really goofy faces, and they are fun to look at. Claude Osteen. Jim Perry rookie. Very good 310 on the auto. Jack Fisher. And we're still chasing that PSA 5. So far, that is the top ranking card. Here's Bobby Richardson again. I sent this in with that initial 1961 tops that I was showing off to you. I love the inscriptions that he included. So cool. Gave me the authentic on Felix Mantilla. Ronnie Hansen with a 210. Ted Boesfield, 2.9. Huh. I'm actually really surprised to see this. Oh, well, okay, that's why I got that. So, again, you know, I'm not concerned with the card grade at all, obviously. My favorite part of this, and cards like this, you know, whoever collected this card initially took the time to get rid of Washington Senators and put Minnesota Twins on there. I think that is really cool. I have another card that I might have shown off already, where somebody took the time to put their card through a typewriter and updated it with the team name, and that's one of my favorite cards of all time. All right, Marty Coe, Ken Aspermonte, Billy Maz. So this card is beat up, as you can see. But for me, you know, that's cool. That tells the story of cards in a nutshell. I think it's really cool because I mailed the guy a $10 check, you know, and he sent this back signed. That's really cool for me. I have his autograph, and you know, he has mine on a check. What a lucky guy. And then Al Worthington on the 3 with a 10. I think that's pretty cool. So I think that puts my collection up somewhere around 100 signed 1960 Topps cards. I have probably 60 more that need to be sent in. Always looking on eBay or looking through trading sites to see if I can add more that are already in PSA slabs, or if it's somebody who I really trust, you know, and then I can send it off to get authenticated later. But that's all I got for now. I hope you enjoyed this video. If there's anything you're interested in trading, let me know what you're looking for, and we'll go from there. All right. Thanks again.